Namaskar. In the past 5 sessions of Aalok, Theory and Contemporary Music Performance, we saw about music materials. Yesterday we came to know Prabhaji's thoughts about Bandish. Uh, Today we will come to know what her thoughts are on the Ghats, which come under semi-classical or light classical music. Uh, my first question is, what do we understand from the word semi classical music and which are the ghats coming under it? Would you please explain that?
In the last 2-3 sessions, we saw about classical music and their ghats, their material. We contemplated upon those. That time I had said that the ghat of classical music, they just have one objective to talk something about the rag, right? The intent of rag, its purpose, its beauty, we need to just reveal about it. The material needed for that, including bandish, even that comes as a music material over there. So the importance of words are less over there. It's less. I mean, the words are used to bring variety in articulation and intonation, lend specific emotional color, and obtain rhythmic patterns over there. But when we move towards semi or light classical music, so semi means something that is little less, which is not classical. I mean, we wish to talk about rag only, but over here the words come at an equal level. The words of Bandish have a same level over here with the rag, and to allow the words come forth, the strict rules of rag, its strictness, it is separated a little, and along with that, the swar, it doesn't possess. Even for that, it works for it. It gives it a space. So that's why we call it semi-classical, because here we have to talk a little about rag, and we also need to talk a little about song text. That's why we call it semi-classical. And
What are the ghats in this?
the main ghat here is Thumri and Dadra. Thumri, just like Vilambit Khayal, has similar slow tempo just like Vilambit Khayal. And after Vilambit Khayal you get Drut Khayal here, tempo is Drut. So the tempo of Dadra is Drut comparatively. We use similar material for both. The way you have bol bat and you have bol banav, so the material is the same. The rag for both is the same, even the tal is the same. So the difference is only in the rhythm or the tempo. Thumri is done in Vilambit Laya, and Dadra comparatively has a faster tempo.
So, as you mentioned about rag and tal, so in Thumri and Dadra, especially which rags are used? Are they different from the rags of Khyal?
Uh, where, where it's what we call serious, those rags are not for Thumri, because Thumri's nature is very fluid, very gentle, and Shringar is the base of that ghat. So for that we don't use serious rag. We don't bring it to use. I don't like to use the word light, but the rag which is not so serious, it's little gentle. I mean, which has similarities with folk tune. That's the kind of rag we use here. But what happened nowadays, the once which we call light rag. Earlier Jinjoti was also like that, but nowadays Jinjoti has become a very serious rag. In instrumental music, it is elaborated for an hour. People have started singing it in vocal music as well. So many rags, I mean, the seriousness of rag, it depends upon the treatment. The way you use the material, that will decide whether it is serious, heavy, or light, or sweet, or gentle. We can decide that. But what happens nowadays that Gambhir, I mean serious, which we call heavy, such rag is also brought for the elaboration for Tumri. But when it is brought, they leave out the seriousness and mixes with the flavor of Tumri.
Yesterday you said, like a person, every rag has its own personality. So sometimes, as we are serious or sad, sometimes we will be erotic as well. Similarly, according to the Ghaat, the color of these rags would also change. We sometimes see that some thumris are also seen in rags like Yaman or Bihag. So then, would the rag group become different?
Absolutely, if the composition is rag bihag based, then treatment of the rag in Tumri, its treatment and development will be absolutely different.
Fine. Now, what can you tell us about Tal?
Uh, Even tal, the tal used for Tumri Dadra, the common tal we notice, Deepchandi, Dadra, Kerva. But I have seen that the tal they use for the ghat of classical music, let me just see, they even use those tals like teen tal, adha also, there is japtal and rupak. We use these tals for Tumri and Dadra as well. Another thing which I wanted to say for this, that the speciality of these tals is that the way you have taken dha tina of Dadra, there is one letter on one matra. Teen tal, dha din din da, or jhap tal, all these tals, the bowls of their theka, there is one letter on each unit of theka. I feel that is because the phrase for Tumri, it should not get pushed off. It should have a momentum as need be. That's why, like din din dhage tirikite of ek tal, tirikite comes in two matras, which is not there in these tals, which is why probably they are used much. I would like to say that, like we saw in the bandish of Khayal, there were two parts, Sthai and Antara. Even in Tumri Dadra, Sthai and Antara, there are two parts of
Sthai and
bandish.
Antara.
Huh?
Sthai and Antara.
Sthai and Antara. And sometimes you can have two Antaras in Dadra, but mostly it's Sthai and Antara. So we will now listen to a Tumri.
अब कैसे धरूं धीर, अब कैसे धरूं धीर, मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर, अब कैसे धरूं धीर, मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर। जमुना 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 आ आ मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर मुरलिया बाजे रे बाजे मुरलिया बाजे रे ओ बाजे मुरलिया मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर बाजे रे बाजे ओ बाजे रे मुरलिया बाजे रे बाजे रे आ श्याम दरस मोरा मना अब कस कहूँ मन की पीरा मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर 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 मुरलिया बाजे मुरलिया बाजे मुरलिया बाजे मुरलिया बाजे मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर 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 मुरलिया बाजे रे मुरलिया बाजे जमुना के तीर जमुना के तीर
You can notice this also had sthai and antara, and the phrases came always with the words. I mean, this is the speciality of Thumri Dadra, that they will go along with the words because the emotion of the words should reach to you through the phrases. The phrases should come out in such a way that the meaning of the words should emerge out more. So this is the intent, that the emotion in Thumri should reach you. By the way, now let us hear Dadra. As I said, the lay of Thumri is low, the lay of Dadra is a little fast.
स सावन तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तरपत निस दिन तरपत निस दिन आजा रे सजनिया तुम बिन तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तरपत निस दिन तरपत निस दिन आजा रे सजनिया तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन पलकन लागत पलकन लागत कछु नाही भावत पलकन लागत कछु नाही भावत बिरहा सतावत आजा रे सजनिया बिरहा सतावत आजा रे सजनिया तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तरपत निस दिन तरपत निस दिन आजा रे सजनिया तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तरपत निस दिन तरपत निस दिन आजा रे सजनिया तुम बिन सावन तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना 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 तुम बिन सावन बरसत नैना तुम बिन सावन
You must have noticed, even though it was Deepchandi Tal, its lay was slightly high. So this was Dadra. And another thing, I don't know if you have noticed, the composition of words in both was suitable for a male artist. Sajaniya was there in the middle. There was no Sajan. Had to say something. What happens in Tumri Dadra, even though it has different meanings, the phrases are the same. The emotion accents upon the phrases. This is the speciality. Like the one with the different meanings, right? The different,
Meaning its phrase is the same,
Yeah,
but the words
are different.
emotions
Opposite
are different.
emotions. The meaning of emotions are different, yet the phrase is the same, but we still like it.
कौन गली मिश्र काफी पिया तो मानत नाही खेलत नंद कुमार.
Use of same musical phrases in mukadas with the different meanings of words.
जादू डारा जादू डारा जादू डारा जिया लागे ना. आवो जावो.
We just saw that the word "ao" is for welcoming, and the same phrase is used for "jao" for departing. So, even though the emotions of the words are different, the phrase is the same. So, the meaning is apparent.
I had mentioned something about tal, right? I would like to present that. Say the teka first, he will play later.
Tal used in Thumri, the popular Dipchandi Tal of 14 beats. It's bol.
धा धिन धा धा तिन ता तिन धा धा धिन धा.
This was Dipchandi. After this is Kahrwa, Tal of 8 beats.
धा गे न ते न क धे न धा.
Dadra, Tal of 6 beats.
धा धी न धा ती न.
After this, we have Dhamar.
These are tals of classical music Ghaat, yet we have used them over here.
The composition of Dhamar is connected with the topic of Holi. That's why it is Dhamar, Tal of 14 beats.
क धी ट धी ट धा आ क ती ट ती ट ता आ.
After this, we have Tin Tal of 16 beats.
धा धिन धिन धा धा धिन धिन धा धा तिन तिन ता ता धिन धिन धा धा.
Japtal of 10 beats. Sadragan Prakar is also sung in Japtal.
धी ना धी धी ना ती ना धी धी ना धी.
Tal Rupak of 7 beats.
ती ती ना धी ना धी ना ती.
Like you just saw that teka, every letter was on a single beat of the teka. I mean, the phrase was not like a stirikit. I mean, we can twist and turn the phrase the way we like to do. That's why probably these tals came into use. Now we will listen to a Bandish ki Tumri. Bandish ki Tumri means the tal is teen tal. That's why we call it Bandish ki Tumri. And even the treatment is similar to Khayal mix.
कान्हा माने ना माने ना माने ना माने ना माने ना माने ना कान्हा माने ना माने ना माने ना कान्हा माने ना
in classical music that the phrases that has bol alap, it has bol upar, it has bol tan. Here, the phrases used are of bol baat and bol banav. We will see how bol banav is.
कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, सखी बैरन भई बरखा बरखा, सखी बैरन भई बरखा। हाँ, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं, जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं, जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं
बोल बाट
कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पिया, कैसे जाऊं मिलन पियारी, कैसे जाऊं।
All these things sound good when sung fully. During presentation, it comes out better and enhanced out. It's difficult just to speak it. But we had to give you an idea about Bolbat. Bolbat has a little layang and Bolbanav has more pukar. Bol comes with the Swaravakya and the emotion is to be presented in front of you. This is Bolbanav, and in Bolbat, it has a little part of lay. Now, I have always, I have experimented this a lot of times. I have sung Thumri Dadra together in one rag, the way they sing Vilambit Khayal and Drut Khayal in one rag. Similarly, I have sung Thumri and Dadra together in one rag, and after that, as Tapa is sung there, I have sung Tarana. So please listen to that now.
एक हूँ नमार, काना करत मन मोरी, एक हूँ नमान, काना करत मन छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू, छैलवा ने, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने छैलवा ने, छैलवा ने जादू कियो रे, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू, छैलवा ने जादू कियो रे, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, निंदिया मोरी लेके गयो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, मीठी मीठी बत्तियाँ करत, मीठी मीठी बत्तियाँ करत, पकड़ी मोरी भैया हंसत, पकड़ी मोरी भैया हंसत, कैसे कहूँ मैं लाज आवत, कैसे कहूँ मैं लाज आवत, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, छैलवा ने जादू कियो, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, तननन दीम तदीम दीम दीम, तननन दीम तदीम दीम दीम, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, तननन दीम तदीम दीम दीम, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, यलली यल यल यलाल यलली, यलली यल यल यलाल यलली, सानि पमगनि पमग समग पमनि पसा पसा पसा, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने, यलली यल यल यलाल यलली, यलली यल यल यलाल यलली, सानि पमगनि पमग समग पमनि पसा पसा पसा, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने दाने, नादेर देर नादेर देर नादेर तनु तदाने।
When we sing Vilambit Khayal and Drut Khayal in the same rag, when the topic is the same, then the emotion remains same. Even here the attempt was that one topic in Vilambit Lay and in Drut Lay in Thumri Dadra, the topic was the same, then the emotion was maintained.
So we saw that in the ghats of semi-classical music, words and song text, poetry are important, meaning the effort is to bring forth the emotion of the words. So,
Absolutely.
what should be the level of its poetry? What is your opinion regarding this?
In comparison with Khayal, the poetry of Tumri Dadra is quite better. I mean, I don't know if it gets literally recognition, but I always try that my composition should have good word composition. Now, later on, you will see that the combination of poetry should be good. That has been my attempt. I am not a poet, but I have tried.
Tai is saying this very humbly. We all know that she is a very good poet and her collection of poems in Marathi, Hindi, and English are published. The poetic, literary aspect of her bandishes is also as beautiful. And as she said, in comparison to Khyal, the poetry of Thumri should be better, but we have observed that her poetry for Khyal is also just as good. So she is an exceptional composer.
My God, thank you. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, that even in Khayal, the words of Bandish are not that important. I mean, Bandish is a material. It's not like you can present Khayal just by singing Bandish. The same applies also in Tumri and Dadra as well. If you complete Tumri just by singing the Bandish, then it won't be a Tumri. The structure of Tumri needs to be presented in elaboration. So that is very important. Else it is that the Bandish of Tumri, the Bandish of Dadra has been presented and not Dadra form, not Tumri form. So it is necessary whenever you say Tumri Dadra, you need to present the Bandish from that that sense.
So, will the music material also be the same as in Khyal, or does it have a different
Yeah,
material?
because we will have to move ahead with the help of words. So, Bol Banav and Bol Bat, these are the prime materials. But nowadays we see that it also has Sargam and even Tan. The video we saw the other day, you must have seen that even Sargam was used and also Tan was used. I believe that Tan and Sargam are pure, I mean, pure music material, and they take the flavor of Tumri. When they are presented in Tumri, they have to be present in the color of Tumri. Whether it's Tan or Sargam, its proportion is evidently less, but I feel that this should continue to happen. If Tumri is made beautiful and its emotion is enhanced, then we should allow it. But the prime material, the phrases are those are undoubtedly Bol Banao and Bol Bat. And one more thing, for its elaboration, as I had said that the rag in classical ghat, we need to look at the same swar and we will have to present it according to the rules. But the ghat in semi-classical music, Tumri Dadra, the rules do not apply to these. I mean, the notes of rag move around to present the emotion, brings different notes as well. Emotion of bandish, of bowls, to enrich it even more, to enhance it. So we always listen to Mishra, Mishra Kamaj, Mishra Des, Mishra Kafi. So Mishra means we attempt to bring the notes which are not there in rag. With attempt, I mean it's a need of that movement, need of words. We don't bring it purposefully. It also happens that Tumri can be sung in pure rag. That is also possible, but if the artist wishes, then he can bring it forth even more. But nowadays we get to see we are sitting in Mumbai, but the notes are in America. That shouldn't happen. I mean, you shouldn't leave the rag that far, leaving far the track. It's not even known of the returning back later.
I was just about to ask that many artists combine rags to this extent that the entire avartan goes in another rag and then
it then looks like a patch. It shouldn't look like a patch. One should be combined with the other. There should be a homogeneous mixture of the two. They both should move together as one. Nobody should come to know that you took another rag. You need to work properly like that.
Yeah.
And
So it should work out.
yeah, absolutely, it should work. And for that, if you have practiced murchana means you can work with any note of rag by taking it as a sa. If you have practice of that, then this work can be done easily.
And especially we see in Thumri that even if you haven't shown a shadow of another rags, still you can have two forms of the same note, like in Rag Tilang, Komal Gandhar,
Gandhars,
Shuddh Gandhar, or Shuddha Nishad, Komal Nishad, both have been applied together. We don't see this thing happening in Rag, in Khyal Ghaat. This has been called forbidden. But can we do this in Thumri? What should be its
Absolutely.
proportion? Some people do this a lot. So,
That is what I said. Who is going to fix the proportion? The artist needs to do that, and if the audience will add a control above, then it's possible. But even if the audience applauds, then what can I do? Another thing that if you sing the same phrase in a khayal and even in Thumri, then its exploration should be different. It happens. Whether it's khayal salap or Thumri salap, a knowledgeable person would be able to say with just the alap whether it's khayal or Thumri. So this work of exploration should also be done very well, and for that one's personality should be accordingly romantic, otherwise the flirty expression, it won't come forth.
So I want to ask something. The voice while singing a khyal, the voice projected is different than while singing a thumri. Why is that the usage of voice while presenting khyal and thumri changes?
This is completely true that for every ghat, the quality of voice is different. Its molding is necessary. For example, if I want to sing for films, then this voice just won't work. Then you need a different kind of voice. In Thumri, the voice required is different, and that's how it should be. If you sing khayal and even if you sing Thumri, then you need to know how to change the texture of your voice. For that, practice is very important. We firstly need to know that you need to change the texture, and only then you will practice. You should also come to know if the practice is going correct. So, that is there. You also need to have a temperament. The temperament of singing khayal doesn't work here. Here, your nature, you should have the temperament in order to sing Thumri, to sing light. Then the voice should also be flexible. Just by taking harkat murki, you cannot make a Thumri dadra. You can do Thumri even without a harkat movement. You can present it quite well. Few harkat movements is okay, but you can't take harkat from the beginning. It's not nice. The emotion is also not built. So it's a misconception that you need to take harkat murki there. It's not at all necessary, but the exploration, you definitely need to learn that.
So, in the good old days, I haven't heard them live, but in recordings we hear that Siddheshwari Devi and Rasulanbai don't take any khatka or murki in the entire avratan, but it sounds thumri. So, just as Prabha said, thumri, murki, murka, khatka, these are definitely ornaments, but that doesn't mean that you keep doing this from the beginning in thumri. You can perform well without this also.
Absolutely. And in this, the diction of notes and words. Firstly, you yourself should know the meaning of the words. Only then you can pronounce them properly. The emotion is conveyed with the pronunciation of the word. The emotion is made with the pronunciation of notes. You need to know that also. You'll be able to sing Thumri only when you experience it from within.
As we saw, the poetry has more importance in Thumri. The Nihit Bhav, inherent emotion in the poetry. What would you say about its language and topic?
While discussing about Khyal, we saw that the language does not matter. It doesn't affect khayal. It has its own music personification of rag, of khayal. It remains. Similarly, even in Tumri, if you sing the notes with emotions, then it will become Tumri because we see there are no words in instrumental music. When it is played with their emotions, then Tumri appears as Tumri only. So, Tumri can exist without words also very well.
So, and the topic of poetry, what should that be?
The topic of poetry, like human relations, the attachment, and you have also nature. With all these, we get a lot of topics, but as I said earlier, that romantic emotion will get more enhanced in semi classical music, like you have with nature, Hori, Kajri, there is Savani. There are a lot of Geet topics along with nature that have also been used. People have used it. Another thing is that we say that he sang Cheti, he sang Hori. They are not different ghats. Only the topic of song is different. Only the track of presentation. It is either Tumri or Dadra. If it is in Vilambit Lay, then we can call it Tumri. If it is sung in Drut, then the same topic, then the song is Dadra. So there are only two main forms, Tumri and Dadra. The rest of them are song topics. They have different importance on the level of Bandish, just like Chaturang and Trivatin Khayal. We present it like Khayal only, but we can see the differences in Bandish.
So its musical ghat will remain either Thumri or Dadra, but due to different poetic topics, we will differentiate them into song forms. The singing or presentation will be either in Thumri or Dadra style only or like its ghat. Now
Now
we
we,
uh, we
yeah.
notice one thing that earlier when the Thumri played in Vilambit Lai, Lagi was being played there. So this might be the speciality of Thumri and Dadra of semi-classical music because Lagi is not played in Khyal. So in this form, what is the importance of Lagi or what's its usage?
What happens is that musically, it's the need of the structure. That's how I feel. Whatever be the topic of the song, when it's presented as a ghat, it has its own need, own requirements, a musical requirement which is laggi. It may be, as they say, it had a relation with the dance previously. So from there, laggi came along with tal. It must have, but later on, when it came on the stage of classical music, that's how it remained intact. That's the reason for it. It's the musical need of the form. So, laggi is possible in both Dadra or in Tumri. I mean, its presentation is left to individual choice. Now we will, as you mentioned about Chaiti Kajri, we will listen to these Geet topics.
Before going there, I would like to ask a question about Lagi.
Sure.
That when Lagi is played, we experience a certain sense of happiness. So if Thumri about longing is being played, is it necessary to play Lagi?
As I told you, it's a musical need. It's a musical need, so at that time we forget.
Yeah, so we can sing it. So in Thumri of
Absolutely.
longing also, Lagi can be
Mira
played.
is also played very hard.
Yeah, so this doesn't mean that there is only a display of happiness. I believe when the intensity of the emotion increases, then Lagi should be added. So if the intensity of longing is increased, then Lagi was added. We can also consider this to be its usage. Please continue.
Now we will listen to Chaiti.
सब मिल गाए चैतरमा से चैतरमा चैतर डारी पे चैतर डोले, चैतर डारी पे चैतर डोले, चैतर डारी पे चैतर डोले, चैतर पवन हो रामा, हो रामा, चैतर पवन हो रामा, चैतर मासे, चैतर रंग में, चैतर गंध में, चैतर रंग में, चैतर गंध में, चैतर नाचे हो रामा, चैतर नाचे हो रामा, चैतर मासे, चैतर मासे सब मिल गाए, झूला झूलत हो रामा, झूला झूलत हो रामा, चैतर मासे.
I will recite these words again. She has a sore throat since yesterday. Must have eaten a lot during Diwali. चैतर मासे सब मिल गाए, चैतर मासे सब मिल गाए, झूला झूलत हो रामा. कोयल गाए चैतर सुर में, कोयल गाए चैतर सुर में, चैतर गीत हो रामा. चैतर डारी पे चैतर डोले, चैतर डारी पे चैतर डोले, चैतर पवन हो रामा. चैतर रंग में, चैतर गंध में, चैतर रंग में, चैतर गंध में, चैतर नाचे हो रामा.
So we saw that the forms of Dadra or the forms of Dadra Ghat, they have more antras. Sometimes it seems that the tune of all the antras are the same, but sometimes the tune of antras can be different, as we heard just now, that the antras are tuned differently according to its poetry.
रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना, रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना, रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना. देखो चुनरी रगादिरी केसरिया, देखो चुनरी भिगो दिरी केसरिया, रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना, रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना. देखो चुनरी भिगो दिरी केसरिया, देखो चुनरी भिगो दिरी केसरिया, रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना, रंग डार गयो. राधा गई थी जमुना भरन पनिया, राधा गई थी जमुना भरन पनिया. कान्हा ठाड़ो हो कान्हा ठाड़ो लेके पिचकारियाँ, कान्हा ठाड़ो जोड़ो लेके पिचकारियाँ रंग डार गयो कान्हा रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना रंग डार। राधा हारे बिनती करत छलिया राधा हारे बिनती करत छलिया कान्हा माने ना कान्हा माने ना कान्हा माने ना कान्हा माने ना माने एक हूँ बतिया कान्हा माने ना माने एक हूँ बतिया रंग डार गयो माने ना रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना देखो चुनरी भिगो दीरी केसरिया देखो चुनरी भिगो दीरी केसरिया रंग डार गयो कान्हा माने ना रंग डार।
We see that especially in Chaiti, Kajri, Hori, Phag, Savan, Jhula, these song forms came primarily from North Indian folk songs. Over there, they have certain specific tunes also, like Chaiti has one tune, Kajri has a different tune, but when it's being presented on the classical music stage and when different composers have composed, then they have added in different tunes also. As we saw, the Chaiti Prabhatai did has a different beauty, has a different tune, so we can see compositions like this also.
If we get the time later on, then I made quite a few bandish in many such rags, which has never been done before.
बूंद बूंद लागे बरसन बूंद बूंद लागे बरसन पिया बिन सकी मोरे नैना भय सावन पिया बिन सकी मोरे नैना भय सावन नैना भय सावन सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सकी मोरे नैना भय सावन नैना भय सावन सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सकी मोरे नैना भय सावन आवन के गए अजहु न आए आवन के गए अजहु न आए याद हमारी पिया बिसराए याद हमारी पिया बिसराए पिया बिन सकी मोरी रहना भय जोगन पिया बिन सकी मोरी रहना भय जोगन रहना भय जोगन सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सकी मोरी रहना भय सावन कजरा रे नैना बरसे बदरिया कजरा रे नैना बरसे बदरिया बिरहा की रैना चमके बिजुरिया बिरहा की रैना चमके बिजुरिया पिया बिन सखी मोरी चैना भई सौतन पिया बिन सखी मोरी चैना भई सौतन चैना भई सौतन सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सखी मोरी नैना भई सावन अंगना में झूला सखिया झुलावे अंगना में झूला सखिया झुलावे मन का हिंडोला पिया को बुलाए मन का हिंडोला पिया को बुलाए पिया बिन सखी मोरा जिया नाही मानत पिया बिन सखी मोरा जिया नाही मानत जिया नाही मानत सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सखी मोरे नैना भय सावन पिया बिन सखी मोरे नैना भय सावन नैना भय सावन सुखा लागे मौसम पिया बिन सखी मोरे नैना भय सावन
I will read this once again for you. Kajri means all these are sung during the rains. बूंद बूंद लागे बरसन बूंद बूंद लागे बरसन पिया बिन सखी मोरे नैना भय सावन पिया बिन सखी मोरे नैना भय सावन नैना भय सावन सुखा लागे मौसम आवन कह गए अजहू न आए आवन कह गए अजहू न आए याद हमारी पिया बिसराए पिया बिन सखी मोरी रैना भई जोगन कजरा रे नैना बरसे बदरिया कजरा रे नैना बरसे बदरिया बिरहा की रैना चमके बिजुरिया पिया बिन सखी मोरी चैना भई सौतन अंगना में झूला सखियाँ बुलाए सखियाँ झुलाए अंगना में झूला सखियाँ झुलाए मन का हिंडोला पिया को बुलाए मन का हिंडोला पिया को बुलाए पिया बिन सखी मोरा जिया नहीं मानत
Wow, very beautiful. So, here we see how the imagination of the poetry is different and has been told in every antra. And I especially believe that the composition of Virah Shringar uses the beauty of imagery, metaphor, Rupak Alankar, and it brings its persona very uniquely to the fore.
Now this is the last composition. This has Jhula, it has Kajri, Savani, it is mix of all.
आई रे तो सावन की पिया घर नाए आई रे तो सावन की पिया घर नाए आई रे तो सावन की पिया घर नाए झूला झूले अम्बारी झूला झूले अम्बारी मन
Listen to the beautiful next composition here.
बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया 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 लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती मोरे कंगना बसंती मोरे कंगना बसंती मोरे पैंजना बसंती मोरे कंगना बसंती मोरे पैंजना बसंती रंगी बिंदिया बसंती रंगी बिंदिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती मोरा जियरा बसंती मोरा जियरा बसंती मोरा कजरा बसंती मोरा जियरा बसंती मोरा कजरा बसंती मोरा गजरा बसंती मोरा गजरा लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती मोरा अंगना बसंती मोरा अंगना बसंती मोरा मनवा बसंती रंग सपना बसंती रंग सपना लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती रंग सपना लाओ मोरे सैया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया बसंती चुनरिया लाओ मोरे सैया
This folk flavor needs to be maintained while singing, and as well as while making the composition, you need to maintain the touch of folk. You need to keep it even in elaboration, and that is very necessary. This line here, Basanti Mora Angana, Basanti Mora Manava, Basanti Ranga Sapana, Lao More Saiya.
Wow, beautiful.
If you have any questions, you can ask.
My question is also related even to both of their singing. When you set it for the first time about Thumri, so the alap of Khayal and alap of Thumri is similar. But sorry, there is difference in singing. Voice projection is different. So can one of them please sing? Any one of them?
Can we show that in next session, because right now both of them have to prepare.
I was going to ask it earlier, but they were singing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Definitely.
Next time.
Okay. And also, it is very difficult to show out of context. If you show the same phrase out of context, then you can't pinpoint the difference. You need to listen that together. That also happens.
Namaste. I want to ask that we listen to Thumri even in instrumental music. We say this that Thumri uses words, but instruments don't have the words. Then what makes us feel that it is Thumri?
I said,
Only the rhythms.
words are not important. Thumri is not made of words. That ghat is not made with that. As long as the musical persona of Thumri is not strong, it is not separate, it is not free, until then it doesn't become Thumri Dada. It won't happen just with words. Not at all. That pukar, invocation, the exploration, the movement of notes, all that has to be done. Words are an additional factor in
Are
it.
there some special mukde for Thumri, and that's how it becomes Thumri? Special mukde?
Not with mukhada. It's a song in its entirety, the way it is explored, the way phrasing is done. As I said, it should be present in the nature. How can I ask to bring the nakra?
Okay, thank you.
If someone doesn't have that nakra, then what to do?
They shouldn't sing Tumri.
No, but if someone's mindset is very different, which has the simplicity but not the nakra like others, but still interested in singing that pattern, then what should we do then?
Keep on practicing. It is possible.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
I would like to add something to this. Like Tai said, it would be useless to try something which is not in your nature. Meaning, if someone's nature is not for singing ragdari, rather is to sing thumri or to sing ghazals, then if he tries to sing khyal, then he would be unsuccessful. There are many examples also. They are learning classical music, but they don't have the temperament for khyal, but they can sing thumri, ghazal, or bhavgit very well. So these are different things. You should definitely make an attempt to learn. I would say that you should definitely try to learn, as Tai said. Practice, learn for a few years, and it will be decided after that if it suits your persona or not. Later you can leave. It's no big deal, but definitely try.
I would say that you should sing all music forms. You need to try. That is when you come to know what the difficulty is. We criticize this is not good, that's not good. To sing for a film for 3 minutes is very, very difficult. I can practice 10 hours for khyal, but to stand and sing for 3 minutes would be difficult for me. Every music form has its own speciality. You will come to know that when you do it, and you should do it, only then you can appreciate it properly, that what is the difficulty here.
Just as Tai said, every music form has its own temperament. It's different for Drupad, different for Khyal, Thumri, Tappa. It's different for all of them. So unless you don't understand that temperament, you can't achieve this. And as Tai said, you need to learn and practice. Because it also happens that up to a certain age, you might not be able to develop that temperament. But maybe later on you can. I would like to say a small incident here. Once someone's brought his young daughter to Pandit Vasantrao Deshpande ji and asked him to teach her Thumri. So, you are very good at Thumri, so please teach her Thumri. The girl was small then. Vasantrao ji said that Thumri means Shringar, and in her mind the emotion of Shringar is not even born yet. She is a small child of 7-8 years, so how will she learn Thumri? Let her grow. We will think of Thumri later on. So this temperament can be developed later on as well. Just like there is a different temperament to sing Tappa. It's probably not possible during childhood, but later on you might. But you need to learn and practice.
There was a singer called Farida Khanam, a very good singer.
Nice.
She has a very famous ghazal, Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo. There she has just used the word high and nothing else. High. That high is high. Not everyone can do that.
That's true. So, many times our elders have also said that the emotion will emerge if you have a broken heart. Thumre is the call from a broken heart. So whether it's Shringar or Viyog, longing, that is a feeling and is not necessary that you experience the emotion in reality. Prabhatai had said this once. I remember this many years ago during an interview. Someone had asked a question: is it necessary for one to experience it oneself? Because Thumri has Shringar and that the emotion will come if you have the experience of Shringar. It's not like that. Your sensitivity should be such that imagination. You need to have talent to know what is the emotion viraha or longing. If you can understand this, then you can sing it. So experience is one thing and imagination also play as a role. If you have both, then it's perfect.
You shouldn't do everything, you have to imagine.
Very true. Ashwini Tidakji wants to ask a question.
Namaskar Tai. You mentioned about Laggi and said that it is the need of format. I would like to ask if the concluding piece of a mehfil is with a tumri of Bhairavi and the words are Naiya Padi Majdar, Naiya Bhavar mein aan fasi, tum hi lagao par. Does it need Laggi even though it is in Deep Chandi?
Yeah, I will sing it for you. You just need to ask.
Just as Tai said, the increase of intensity. If Naya Padi Majdar, if this emotion is intensified, if the intensity to be one with God is extreme, then Laggi can also work as its indicator. Yeah, but I would believe that this is up to one's own freedom. If someone does not feel, then they need not use Laggi. No one can force. But if you can fulfill it, the devotion, if you can carry on that in Laggi, just as Prabhatai said that she can maintain, then there is no problem with that. So this is just a question for you about how you can carry it. That's important.
Namaskar Prabhatai. You just spoke about the imagination, the imagery created in your mind.
Yeah.
You conveyed very well, and your students, disciples also sung it very well. But I would definitely like to say that the accompanists would also be associated, and their coordination is also important. That is how I feel.
What happened that the difficulty over here, we have to work with that.
Yeah, but today these kids have played it so well and so good, so we should definitely applaud them. They have thought well and played, otherwise, many times some people play the tabla so hard that we question if they are singing tumri or providing accompaniment or something else. That is why I said that we should definitely applaud them. They both did very well, and your disciples sang it very well with the emotion and the shringar. They created an entire atmosphere in front of the eyes. You have taught them very well. The fact that we go to hear your students sing and you explained it so well. My Hindi is not so good, but I'm trying to speak. It was excellent performance
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
So I have another question. Is teaching Thumri similar to teaching Khyal or it is somewhat different?
To teach someone Tumri is very difficult because there is no track. Like you do this and then you do that. Not at all. One has to listen and absorb it. One should keep listening and imbibe it. Only then it's possible, otherwise not. You can't just learn it. Not at all.
Please ask.
So there is something like folk also, right? There are elements of folk here.
Atindraji was asking whether words like Ho-Rama should be used in Chaiti. The answer is Ho-Rama, it's a folk element. It has an indicative sign. So it's better if it's there. If someone presents Chaiti even without, it is still fine. There is no problem in that. But it sounds nice if it is there. I would like to say another thing here, that Thumri definitely has something which Khyal or Drupad doesn't have. Uh, it has indicative words. Are, ho, ag. We don't do this in Khyal, but this definitely happens in Thumri and Dadra, words to address someone. Because we are saying something to someone, we are making a conversation. Whether it is with beloved or even with God, the discussion on this topic remained. There are Thumri composed for devotion as well, so it's not that Thumris are for Shringar just with the beloved. Even with devotion, we have many Thumris which we call as Pukar, the invocation, to call someone. There are many words like this used in Thumri and Dadra. These words are not available in Dhrupad, Khyal or even in Tappa, so we can call this another speciality of the semi-classical forms. And are there any other questions?
The way they have gharana in khayal singing, similarly do they have gharana in Thumri singing. So its progression happens with bolbat and with bolbana only, but the style of the Thumri of different gharanas, how is it different?
The way it happens in a khayal, the same way, the materials are the same, the way you present it, the exploration, the bol banao, that is different for everyone. This has something the other doesn't have. Like this has more harkat and murki, but not in that one. There is more bol banao, more pukar invocation.
So the elements are the same, but the manner of its proportion and presentation is different. So you get different styles and different gharanas.
Respected Prabhatai, Namaskar to you, sir. As Prabhatai just said, people have started using Sargam and Tan in Thumri and Dadra. People have started adding it, but as you said earlier, there is a proper way of adding it. Would you please give some examples and clarify how should they be used and in what proportion?
The video we had shown the last time, the audio, it was available in that. So you...
Sorry, I could not attend due to personal
Okay.
work. This is my
all
first day.
of this has been recorded.
Okay.
You should listen to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we will end today's session. Our next session will be on the 17th and 18th November. On 17th, we will come to know Prabhaji's thoughts about Sugam Sangeet or light music, and the session of 18th will be specially for our classical music students. It is necessary for them because the concepts, the aspects about rag, like rag samay chakra, and the relation between rag and ras, the thought behind rag and its names, we will contemplate on these different aspects. So we will meet on the 17th and 18th of next month, right here, 11 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.